it's Sam. I'm gonna be playing with the Deck of Scarlet palette. This is the edition number 13. It's really, really cute. I love the design of this. On the back it says Deck of Scarlet edition number 13. And then on the front, it has this lovely lady and she is just absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like robot vibes. Doesn't it kind of look like that to you? So the bottom, this is what I love about this, is that the bottom is the lip products. These are cream. So they keep a little separate flap so that you don't get your powder products mixed in to your cream products. So this is a palette that has everything you need. It's got your blush, your highlight, your lip products, as well as 3 different shadows. So it does come with this little sleeve as well that just pops right on into here. So it does come protected when you get it. This is what the actual sleeve looks like, and then you just push it out and it comes out just like that. I do have a 30% off link for you guys, so be sure to click that link in the description box if you want to save some money. Palette edition number 13 is described as unapologetically feminine. Our latest palette is sure to delight with power pastels and throwback hues in a blendable demi-matte finish. There is an add-on that you can add on to the actual palette, which is a jelly. It's a glow-up jelly in extra. I did not get that, so I'm not really sure what that is. I'm assuming it's some kind of like a little kind of cream or jelly highlighter. These are available for you guys to get in Canada, UK, as well as USA. If you are in the US, it's free shipping. If you're in Canada, UK, obviously you're gonna pay a little bit more. They are cruelty-free, they are paraben-free, which is really nice. So this specific month, it features the 3 shadows. Cashmere is described as a warm tone shimmer. Then we have Innocence, which is a soft matte periwinkle. Hazelnut is a golden pewter shimmer. Then we have Firefly, which is a vibrant golden yellow highlighter. Candy Bloom, which is a soft pink blush. And then the 2 lip products are Plush Petal, which is a muted rosy pink matte finish, and then Berry Bite, which is a light brown pink undertone matte finish. So those are all of the different colors that you get in the palette, and I will just swatch them for you guys. So those are the shadows. You can see they're really pigmented. They swatch really, really well. That's the highlighter right there, the yellow. So you can see it is really yellow. And then that's the blush color there. So you can see that is like a true kind of rosy pink. Then those are the lip colors. This one is the, what is that one called? Plush Petal, and then that one is the Berry Bite. So both very pretty wearable colors for a lot of different skin tones. So what's also really cool about Deck of Scarlet is that they do release palettes that are in collaboration with YouTubers. So you might have already seen YouTubers in the past do a collaboration with them, and you might very well see one of your favorite YouTubers in collaboration creating a palette with them as well. This palette is $29.95, so it's definitely a lot more affordable than most things that you're gonna find at Sephora. I mean, I think most palettes are at least $40 nowadays. They're at least $40, but most of the time they're like $50 and $60. So this is $29.95. So this month would be the palette, and the next month would be a curated makeup kit. So I think it's like every other month it kind of switches between a palette and then a makeup kit. I'm not sure what comes in the makeup kit, but that's the fun of it. It's like a nice little surprise. However, you will have a couple of days to skip. So if you see the next month coming up, they'll give you a preview, and then you're like, ooh, you know what, that's really not for me. Then you can skip it, and then you can wait until the following month. So you do have that option, which I think is really convenient and kind of handy that you can do that. So I think that the curated trend kits are something new. And obviously I've never received one before. I've only ever had the palettes. So I'm really not sure what it's gonna be. Subscribe and then you'll find out, because I don't honestly know what the curated trend kits are gonna be. And again, it is $29.95, and then with 30% off, what would that be? So you're getting this whole entire palette for 20 bucks. So let me just get up real close so that you guys can see this look up close and personal. I love the way the eyes turned out. I love that pop of blue. It's so pretty. The highlight is so beautiful. The blush turned out really pretty. I mean, I'm just like, overall, I'm so happy with all of it. It turned out so, so good. Huge thank you to Deck of Scarlet for partnering up with me for this video. I really appreciate it. I will leave that link in the description box below, guys. So if you want to save 30% off, which brings this down basically to, I think it's just around 20 bucks, then click on that link in the description box. That'll take you right on over, and then you can sign up and then you can get that 30% off. I love you. Let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys. Okie doke. So I have just my moisturizer, my serums, all that good stuff on my face. So what I've been loving lately is mixing just a little squitch of the Revlon Color Stay in with the Tarte Multitasking Foundation. This is the Found Sealer, and the color I have is 42N. And then I just freshly self-tanned, so I want to mix it with just a tiny little bit of 370. So I am going to be using my, I forgot what this is called, my Juno makeup sponge. I just ordered a new pack. I really prefer the one that looks like this. I had the other one that was more square at the top, but I really like this one better. Also, I've tried both the Dr. Bronner's soap as well as the Beauty Blender Cleanser Solid, and I have to say, after trying both, you will get much longer life out of your sponge if you use the Beauty Blender Cleanser. And then I usually just take whatever is left on my hand and I kind of bring it down onto my chest. This sunscreen, or this foundation, does have a sunscreen. It is SPF 20, so I mean, they say that if it's anything less than 30, it doesn't really count, but hey. For concealer, I'm still loving the Milk Makeup. I just think this is such a fabulous concealer. It really is nice if you are, you know, aging and you've got some fine lines and wrinkles under there. I recently just got touched up for my eye. My thing just broke. For my eyes, I previously got them back in January with the BOTOX word. I can't say it because then I get unmonetized. I gotta make money somehow, friends. I got DYSPORT, and I don't know if it just didn't mesh well with me or if there wasn't enough put in, but I feel like nothing happened and my under eyes were starting to look so crepey and just like little fine lines everywhere underneath. And so when I went to go get the actual BOTOX, I don't think I would ever do DYSPORT again. I just wasn't really a fan. It never really kicked in for me. Like, I got a little bit of smoothness, but it never gave me that full-on, like, super smooth, super shiny forehead, just glass, you know? And like, if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I want it to look like glass. I want it to look smooth and delightful. So I'm not even on to my full 10 days yet. I don't think I am, at least. So it hasn't fully kicked in. But I'm like, oh, that's what my eyes used to look like. Now I remember. Because, man, they were looking a little wrinkly for a minute there. I was using the Fenty Beauty Lavender underneath my eye, and then I noticed that after using it for a continuous amount of time, it was becoming very drying underneath my eyes. Like, the skin was actually getting dried out. And so I stopped using it and I went back to my NARS. I would still continue using my NARS, but I just ran out. So I don't have any of that left, I don't think. Might have a little squidge. I mean, it's not like my under eyes are oily, but they're definitely not typically dry. But if you are someone who does have normal to dry skin, or even combination oily, but your under eyes, like right there, aren't dry, I wouldn't do the lavender, just because I feel like it's such a great powder for oily skin. So underneath the eyes, after a while, it gets a little tricky. But at first it was beautiful. I mean, it does look nice. It's just then my under eyes were just looking so kind of dry. Plus I really needed a touch up. So it was just looking pretty old under there. The NARS just really does smooth everything out nicely. For the rest of my face, I go in with the Fenty Beauty Butter. It really does control all the oil. The color Butter is great if you self-tan because it doesn't get ashy and it smells really good too. It was quite strong actually, the scent. It is a little overwhelming. So if you are someone who is sensitive to scents, you might want to go sniff it. I feel like every single hair that I have is going to show so bad against this black background. So next we have the Super White Ben Nye powder. This is what I like to use underneath. I know I've talked about this so many times. And I just like buff it into the skin. And this also helps to like really smooth everything out under there. And like just really get in there. I don't really like baking with like a sponge underneath my eyes. I really do feel like it enhances the fine lines and wrinkles. It makes it look a little heavy. and it just doesn't look like very youthful on me. Even after I get my BOTOX touched up under there, you know, I'm still in my 30s, so it's not gonna look, I don't know how people do it. I mean, they must spend so much money on their skin and like treatments and things to make them look like how they look. I can't imagine the amount of money that these people spend to look like how they do. I mean, they look amazing. That's why they look great. But it must cost so much money. Now I'm just taking some Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This is in the color 2. And I found whether I'm pale or whether I'm tan, it really does just kind of blend in very nicely. I've been loving this lately. This is the Too Faced Natural Lust Bronzer. And I just use the top part. I don't really get into the bottom lighter part. That one's a little bit more shimmery. And I kind of just like stamp it as if I was using a beauty sponge. I just kind of like push it into the skin versus I used to just like swipe it. And I don't know, I feel like this just looks a little bit better. I just tried it one day because the brush was a little denser. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pounce it on there because I wanted to try out the brush. And then I actually realized, oh, I like that more. So that was just a lovely curiosity type situation. And it's so weird because like I have this section on my forehead that will not take the color. Do you guys see that right there? It just won't get darker there. It's really annoying, but hey, that's why I have my hair down. Like I take the foundation all the way up to it, but for some reason when I do the contour, it just doesn't want to take right there. And again, I just take it all along the jawline and I'm still kind of like stamping it on there a little bit underneath the lip, on the end of my nose, and then do right on the sides, kind of like the side top. I want to keep it like nice and skinny. And then I'll just go into the whole entire bronzer after that and just make sure that everything is blended out on my chest. Take a little brush from Sigma. This is the 4D HD Precision. It's kind of like a little pyramid. And I just dip the tip and then right here, I just make a little, almost like a half moon shape. Then I go right here and I go right here. That really helps to like bring the nose skinny down and then up. So this is the Deck of Scarlet palette. So we do have a blush. This is called Candy Bloom. So we're gonna go ahead and take this blush here. It's a kind of cooler pink. Not my typical color, so we shall see how it looks. Let's just buff that baby right on in. Normally I go for something a little peachier, but you just never know. Sometimes you have to try things, step out of your box a little bit. Oh, it's super pretty. It's just like a really soft kind of pinky flush. I always work with a very, very light hand on blush, like just the very tip of your brush. And then as you need more, you can kind of get a little deeper into it. So now what I'm gonna do is spray my face. I'm out of the Farsali, which I've been obsessed with. I was supposed to order it during VIB, totally spaced it, and I didn't order it. Now the coupon doesn't work, so cool beans. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Mist and Fix for Makeup Forever. This one is also really great. Doesn't give you quite as much of a glow, but it's been a little hot and humid here, so I'm not dying over not having the glow. Now I'm gonna go back in with my my Fenty Beauty Butter Powder. And this just makes it so that if your contour wasn't like perfectly precise, what am I trying to say? Precise, oh, what did I say? It just kind of cleans it up. It just makes everything look really nice and sharp. I'm baked. I think we have a highlight. It does look a little yellow. We can always lighten it up if we have to. This is called Firefly. It's actually a really beautiful texture. It's definitely pretty yellow. Hopefully it's coming off in camera, but it is a beautiful sheen. It's a beautiful texture. I mean, the highlight is like super intense. I would probably calm it down a little bit to go out in public. just because I feel like it's a little yellow. It's almost like not even a gold, it's like a yellow. You're really trying to look colorful, like it's quite vibrant, which would be fun for like festivals or, you know, there's times when this kind of stuff is fun. Okay, so eyebrows are done. My camera for some reason decided to take a poop. I don't know what's going on with it. It's pretty old. I don't know if my batteries just aren't charging up anymore or if the camera itself is having some situations, but I put both my batteries that are supposed to be charged and it's not turning on. So I don't know, but I'm just gonna use my vlog camera. Sorry, it's not quite as glamorous. I think I'm gonna have to use a contour color first, just because there isn't really a contour color in this specific. Oh, I just realized all my brushes are propping up my thing. I'm just gonna use just a regular contour shade. This is from the MAC Misunderstood palette from ColourPop. I'm just gonna pop this right into my crease. It's just the color Tragic, and it's just a really soft kind of like neutral tan color. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this Sigma eyeshadow base primer down, make it a little bit more intense. I'm just gonna kind of tap that out, and I'm just like working back on that crease again. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of that highlight shade, take that Firefly color again, the little yellow one, but I'm gonna mix a little bit of it with this shade right here, which is called Cashmere, just to kind of take a little bit of that yellow tone out. It's actually really pretty mixed together. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if you guys can see this, can you? Oh, this is so frustrating. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this hazelnut color with a slightly smaller fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna start packing this all onto the lid where I put down that primer. So with this, you definitely wanna make sure that you blend it out with a different brush. It's pretty pigmented and it's pretty intense. So you definitely wanna make sure that you have a slightly fluffier, and then you wanna wipe it off as you're going because it picks up a lot of the product, and then just like softly buff it out. But do you see how on me it kind of goes gray, which is like so strange. I don't know why that always happens to me though. It's not just this color. Things just want to go cool on me, which is why I always have to wear like really warm colors. Okay, so with my finger on the bottom, I'm just gonna go into that brown color, the hazelnut. I'm just gonna kind of press it onto the very bottom part because I just want to have a little bit more of that brown kind of gold peek through since it got blended out. We're gonna take a little bit of that Cashmere, the lightest shade right here, put that right into the center just to add a little bit more of a glow. So when you close your eyes, your center of your lid just like pops. Blend out the edges of that. You just want it to be so that as you close your eyes, it just like has something to show. And I'll get up close up. I know it's like, I'm super far away now. Like I said, I apologize. This camera is not, it's not a DSLR, it's just my vlog camera, so. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in with the Firefly, this color right here. And I'm gonna kind of pop that right into the inner part here. Like normally I have to wet my brush for this section and it is like intense. So I'm just gonna kind of take that yellow just right into that inner corner and just kind of bring it up a little bit. Then I am gonna wet my brush with a little bit of that setting spray. And I'm gonna go into the Cashmere, that champagne-y color, and then right there, right at the bottom part is where I'm gonna pop that, just to kind of add just an extra little pow. And now we're gonna move on to the bottom lash line. So I am gonna go back in with my original color, which was this one. I'm gonna take a slight bit of this one as well and just kind of mix them back and forth. And I'm gonna pop that underneath as my base. I'm gonna go in with the Innocence, that blue, and we're just gonna pop that right on top. And by putting down the other colors first, it just kind of takes away from it being like so blue to where it's like, whoa, blue. Then I'm gonna take the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. This is in the color Prance. And I'm gonna pop this into my waterline. And then I'm gonna take my Voluminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. This is a primer. And I'm gonna take the Volume Express Falsies from Maybelline. Okay, so the eyes are finished. It's funny because when I first looked at this palette, I was like, oh, these are not my colors. What am I gonna do? And I actually love the way this turned out. I think it's really beautiful. It looks really nice. It surprised me. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just dust off my bake. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to lips. Okay, so first for the lips, I'm gonna take a little bit of lip balm. This is from Victoria's Secret. I always do this before I ever put anything on. I just feel like everything goes on so much nicer and smoother. So the colors that we have in here are Berry Bite and then Plush Petal. I think what I'm gonna do is line my lips first with the Lord & Berry Nude. And then what I'm gonna do is get a little brush. I think I'm gonna go into the Plush Petal. It's that slightly pinker one. It's actually really creamy. It's just like a nice soft kind of rosy pink. It's a little bit too pink. I would normally finish it off with a gloss. So I want to show you what it looks like. It's actually really pretty. It's just something that I always go lighter. So I am just going to go ahead and put a little bit of a lighter lip gloss. This is the 207 Sky Pink. This one is still a little bit more sheer. Normally I would just put my lip gloss over because it's a little bit lighter, but this is just going to lighten up but still keep the tone of the lip color we just put down. And just add a little gloss. So see how it's just lightened it a little bit, but it still has that same kind of tone and color. Okay, and then we're gonna do one more spray. There is the final look. Hopefully that lighting is better. It actually turned out really pretty. You can see that highlight. It's after it sat and I kind of like blended everything out together. It's really beautiful. It's very subtle. It gives like a really soft kind of yellowy golden glow. So funny when you see stuff that is not your normal color and you're like, oh my goodness, this is not the colors that I normally go for. What am I gonna do with this? And it just shows if you just like trust yourself and get a little bit out of your box, you can still create something really beautiful. And this is something I would never normally go for, but I actually think that it looks really, really nice. I love that little pop of blue. I think that's really pretty. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gorgeous and I would never normally go for a highlight or a blush this color, and I think everything turned out really nicely in the end. There you guys go. I'll try and get up nice and close so you guys can see. Okay guys, so there you go. I apologize for my camera situation. Not sure what's going on with this thing. But I hope that it still worked out okay and you guys got to see what I was doing. I know it's a little farther away than I had hoped for, but sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. I think overall, this palette definitely was not my typical colors in any way. The lips, actually every single item here was not my typical color because normally my blush choice would be peachy and kind of coral, and this is more of a cool tone pink. Normally my highlight is more of a creamy kind of vanilla. This is definitely yellow. And then my eyes are always like just neutral or warm tones, and these are definitely, I mean, there's a pop of color. This one was definitely kind of more of a, it's kind of like a cooler color of a champagne. And then this is brown, but it went more gray on me. So completely not my colors at all. And then the lip colors, again, are not really my colors because they're a little cooler toned. But I do feel like everything turned out really pretty. And I think if these are your colors, then the actual quality of the products are amazing. That highlight just melted in. It was super buttery and creamy. It went in beautifully on the skin. It just like kind of just melts. The blush, again, was really pretty. pigmented, but not overly to where you're like, oh my God, blush face. I found the brown one to be a little bit harder to blend out, but I think that's probably because I put that primer down first. So it was like really tacky on there. And I think the actual palette itself, like it's really cute. It's a really fun palette. It has, I like the fact that they, you know, they're thoughtful about the separation between the cream products and the dry products. I think that I would definitely give this a go again. It's good to get out of my box. It's also fun to try new looks. And I think that it would be interesting to see like what they come out with each month, just because each month it gives you another opportunity to try something that maybe you wouldn't normally go for. I mean, I have such a typical look. I always stick for the same colors. I always go for the same palettes. I'm such a creature of habit. When I go to restaurants, I always order the same food. I don't want to be disappointed. And so I always just get the exact same thing every single time. Like, I'm terrible about that. I love the pop of blue. I think it's really fun for summer, but it's kind of like almost like a summery night look, if you know what I mean. Like, you're going out and you're gonna be out like at a super like snazzy restaurant and it's outside and it's warm. I think this is fun because it has those little pops of blue. It's like, I can imagine like being in the Bahamas or Hawaii or somewhere, you know, super fancy like that. So yeah, I like it. I'm actually really impressed. So I hope you guys enjoyed and found this helpful. Huge thank you to Deck of Scarlet for partnering up with me for this video. I'll leave this link in the description box, so be sure to go ahead and check it out. Thank you guys again. I love you so much. Mwah.